Tell me, if someone, we'll hear all the fine words from the leaders and officials, but what will this summit do for someone who, for example, is in a village in Africa or a town in East Europe? What will it give to them?
When you're talking about growth, the question is, how do you make that growth inclusive growth? How do you make that growth pick up, as they say, when the tide should lift all the boats, and that means the women, the youth, the elderly. But in many of these developing countries, you're talking about just average age men and women of working age who do not have the opportunities because they do not have the skills. Skills are absolutely critical. There is an enormous mismatch. It's not just about education, not just about getting more people to school. That's a very critical first step. But in many of the cases, you're having people actually leaving secondary school with their diploma, but not being able to match the skills that are required by the marketplace. And then you have this enormous paradox, a real tragedy, which is hundreds of thousands, millions sometimes, of young men and women unemployed, and then the company saying, I cannot get the talent, I do not get the right skills that I need in order to make my company more productive.
Can this summit address that?
Of course, that is one of the critical issues. There is this decision that was taken in Brisbane that we should promote growth, and that on a cumulative basis, we should add to the growth by 2018 of 2% additional of what it would have been in any of the countries in the G20 by doing, basically all the structural measures. And there were 1,000 measures that were offered. What we have today is that less than half of that growth has manifested itself. If everything that has been done, not committed, but done today would be translated into growth, it would probably be more like less than half of the target. Okay, so it means there's a lot to do going forward, and then we have to deal with pretty large, and imminent issues like the climate change summit that is going to happen in Paris. The SDGs, when you're talking about development, we no longer have to invent any agenda. Just let's get the SDGs done over the next 15 years. Just that would be an enormous achievement. So we got our work cut out for us, a lot of work to deliver, and the BEPS, the base erosion and profit shifting. This is, first of all, nowhere to hide in terms of individuals taking their money elsewhere in order not to pay taxes, but also multinationals paying their fair share of taxes. That is going to be the single most important revolution in the international tax regime in 80 years. And the 15 pillars that support it are going to be approved by the members here. Turkey has been a big leader on this, and it's going to be one of the big deliverables in Antalya.